Welcome to issue 295 of Critical Encounters, a podcast about Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Here, we take a good look at that most critical piece of the game, the encounter sets. We'll discuss those poorly understood characters, unfairly labeled villains, and their various plans to shape humanity and benefit the planet, as well as those so-called heroes intent on thwarting them. I'm one of your hosts, Steve, and joining me tonight, as always, is my good friend Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Hey, man. What's up?
What's up? Another night of the show.
Another night.
But we are not alone. We have brought our Twitchy partner, and I don't mean that he has a weird affectation, but he joins us on Twitch all the time. It's Bill. Hi, Bill.
Hey, guys. How are you tonight?
I'm feeling good. You?
Good for a Wednesday. Yep.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Good for a Wednesday. That's well put. Oof.
Yeah.
It's been a full week in half a week.
It really has. I agree.
But happy to be here.
Happy. Steve, I have a question for you.
Oh, for me?
Yeah. I'm going to turn things around a little bit because I feel like tonight we're turning things around from what we normally do. So to emulate that and honor that, I have a question for you. Steve, what's on your mind tonight?
Oh, well, Daniel, thanks for asking. A couple things are on my mind. First, our Halloween trick-or-treat contest is still going on. We're going to run this a little shorter than normal. I swear that's the truth. So you have... like tonight, you listen to this live. We're going to try to close it out tonight so we can pull a result next week. Okay. So, get out there, go to our socials, check the links, go to the trick or treat Halloween thing and win some X-Men OP kit cards, villains and heroes.
A generous gift.
Yeah. So
no trick, right?
No, well, there's tricky ones and there's treaty ones. So, there's some heroes and there's some villains. So,
gotcha.
But it's not a trick. You do win cards. Two possible winners. So, also on my mind tonight is podcasts in general.
Oh,
okay. Podcasts in general. There's a lot of podcasts out there. I listen to a ton of stuff. Things that aren't Marvel Champions. I know we have a great set of loyal fans who listen to the show. I don't know what we've put in their drinking water to make them listen to 295 plus issues, but
it is a little kooky, isn't it?
It is. When you guys, I got a question for you. When you listen to a podcast, do you listen at regular speed? You turn up the speed? What do you do?
I always listen at regular speed. Even like the one notch up drives me bonkers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Bill?
I listen at regular speed.
Okay. So I'm one of these guys. I listen to everything at 1.5. Like no
How
matter
do you
what
not
it is.
Get just on edge.
I like to power through some stuff and
get to the point kind of guy.
Right? Yeah, and now I used to listen to some of these Marvel Wastelanders, which were like radio dramas. Those I'd listen to regular speed because you lose the acting and the sound effects and things like that. But so I would listen to 1.5. Now some folks listen to this show, our show, at 2 times speed.
I'm trying to think of my high-pitched, weedy voice. Double that.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm trying to think of my high-pitched, weedy voice. Double that. Right. Oh, my goodness.
We had a listener, and I'm going to keep them anonymous, who said, on a recent issue, I thought you guys were drunk. And I'm
entirely
that's probably...
You thought we were drunk, and it turns out that he just happened to be listening to us on 1 times speed because he normally listens at 2 times speed. So apparently we sound drunk when we're normal.
Well,
I have done it at half speed on you guys, and
then we would definitely sound drunk.
That is hilarious. So try that, everybody.
I have done it at half speed on you guys. And that would definitely sound hilarious. So try that, everybody.
Listen to us at half speed.
In defense of Anonymous, I'm usually hammered by 8 every night.
And we don't record till 9:15.
It's probably true. Yeah.
So we're about 2 drinks in by now.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. That's generous, Bill. All right. No, that's funny though.
Yeah, he said something like, I realized for the first time in 290 episodes that you were running at 1 time speed and not the normal 2 times speed. So
I'm trying
2
to
times.
be-
Yeah.
I'd miss things. Like, not only would it drive me crazy, like fingernails on chalkboard, kind of like Chip and Dale. Now, who are those things? Yeah.
Yeah, the Chipmunks. Yeah,
right?
Chip
The
and Dale.
Chipmunks guys.
Yeah.
Like, I could.
Or
Oh,
Alvin and the Chipmunks. Those guys.
Alvin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alvin, Simon, Theodore.
There you go.
That's what they were.
Yeah.
I will say
Chip
that
and Dale's is a male strip club, right?
Well, Chip and Dale from Disney are Chipmunks.
Which is different from Chippendales?
Which are, yes, that's the male review, which we are not. Sorry to disappoint.
No, but if we wanted to make some extra coin on the side,
we'd end up. I think we'd end up paying.
Very full Monty-ish.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Sure.
That was a great movie, by the way. If you haven't seen it,
you're a fan of Magic Mike.
Never saw Magic Mike.
Oh, it's the full Monty. Okay,
just the full Monty.
Well, we are off topic. We are a little off topic.
Whoa.
Swinging wildly around.
Family show.
What is the topic?
Off topic.
Off topic. Sorry. What is on topic? Let's talk about on topic, because those were my thoughts for what's on my mind tonight.
Those are great thoughts.
Thanks. What are we doing? What are we going to do tonight, Daniel? What are we doing?
Well, I see that the issue title has Secret Dossier.
Yes.
Now, that's when I said, I'm going to turn the tables on you with what's on your mind, because it's like, we're going to talk about one of those cheaty, awful so-called heroes, aren't we?
We are. We have finished our Age of Apocalypse. We're getting ready for the Shield box. We're going to...
Maybe we should talk about the strongest hero in the game.
Yeah, definitely a villain favorite.
Right. So sad. Oh, golly.
Yeah, folks, we're going to talk about Valkyrie. And this might make sense in the larger scheme if you listen to the next few shows, why we're going to talk about Valkyrie. But Daniel, now you're the lore guy on this one, because
she definitely lands quite delightfully in my wheelhouse of Norse myth. Now, there's Marvel Brunhilde, and then there's the Valkyrie one. They're different, but I get how Marvel chose her. Like, because there are a number of named Valkyrie in the stories.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so like you've got it, like 5 or 6 of them that they are mentioned in the Eddas here and there. But so what I thought I would do is I thought I'd talk about Valkyries in general, and then talk about Brunhilde, who is the one that we have in our game and what she did and was like in the Norse sagas. Is that fair?
Yeah, and then I think when you are done, I'm going to do a tiny piece on the Marvel version.
And the Marvel version.
And the comic version, not the MCU version, which is a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
So
and you will find, I think, Bill and Steve, that there are thematic tie-ins between the saga Brunhilde and then the Marvel one.
Sure.
Based on what limited thing I know of her in the comics. I know her mostly from the Guardians movies, right?
Yeah.
Or
Tessa Thompson.
Or the
character.
Thor movie. Yeah. Where she's sort of a drunken lout.
She must be on normal speed instead of 2 times speed.
Yeah. So. The rest of the cast is at 2 times speed.
She's just normal. Running normal.
All right. So
she started at 8:00.
So let me tell you about the Valkyries. So the Valkyries, the name means choosers of the slain, which is kind of. They don't really choose who dies. That's Odin's job. They sort of will choose the members of the slain that get to go to Valhalla and become the Einherjar, which are like the army of the dead that will accompany the gods in Ragnarok. Right. So those are all the fallen heroes drinking at Valhalla till the end of time. Right. So these Valkyries, though, they're complex figures in the myth. They straddle the boundary between the divine, the martial, and the supernatural. So they have all sorts of realms that they exist in. Their primary function in the Norse myth, as I said, is to select the warriors slain in battle to get escorted to Valhalla. Now, their role, I would say, perfectly reflects the Norse understanding of fate, or as they would say, the Veerd, as it's their job with Odin's blessing, blah, blah, to determine which warriors die and which live. So while originally envisioned as fearsome and otherworldly death spirits, later poetic traditions humanized them, portraying them as noble, kind of ethereal maidens, both terrifying and beautiful, who also serve mead in Valhalla when they're not, cruising over
their day job.
Cruising over battlefields in their flying horses, scooping up dead folks. All right, anyway, not surprisingly, Marvel chose the beautiful bit to bring to the cinematic universe. So did the comics, right? Because early depictions of them are pretty damn freaky. With their dual nature as both warrior and weaver of destiny, the Valkyrie, can they parallel the other like battle maidens in myth traditions, like maybe the Amazons, say, in which they, as female spirits, they influence warfare and death. Like those are the realms that they most are associated with. Now, but they aren't just about death and loss and warfare and carnage and what have you. Like they're also like mediators of transformation. So they like bridge life and death, mortality and immortality, chaos and divine order. Like their job is to keep things intact and like to make sure the fallen understand that transformation into the new role, right? So they're kind of these icons of power and transcendence. I don't know if you've ever read Rick Riordan's Norse myth trilogy, Magnus Chase.
Nope.
Right. So it's not a huge spoiler, but in the first chapter, Magnus Chase dies. This is the hero, and he is taken up by a Valkyrie. And so like the image there is very much like this, where she's sort of like, I don't know, like Charon in Greek myth, like the ferryman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's their job to transport to that other realm. So anyway, there's a number of named Valkyries in so that's them generally, what Valkyries do, what they represent in Norse mythology. All right. So there are a number of named ones, but Brynhildr, which we call Brunhilde now, as we know in our game, she occupies a singular position as both a divine agent and a tragic heroine. So her story, which is human and personal and bizarrely outside the usual scope of the myth system she sits in, is all about the tension between divine will, personal agency, and like the sort of inexorable force of fate. Now, there's a reason she became the Marvel character, because her backstory is pretty amazing and I would say cinematically available. Okay. So what sets her apart from the other Valkyries and makes her story so remarkable is in the conflict she has with the All-Father himself, Odin, who commands her to determine the outcome of this one particular combat. So Odin wants this guy, Jolmgunnar, to win, but Brunhilde defies Odin, which is, I think, an unheard of move for the Valkyrie set, to be sure. And she's moved by compassion and a sense of justice, like Odin's not backing the good guy, right? So she grants victory to the other dude, thereby subverting the divine order. This act of disobedience, an assertion of her moral autonomy against divine command, constitutes the heart of her conflict with Odin. Now, Odin's response, you might not be surprised, is that he's pretty peeved with her. He's not happy at all. He condemns her to mortality. He says, "You shall no longer be numbered among the Valkyries. You shall sleep the long sleep, surrounded by fire until a mortal man awakens you." Okay. Now, thus, Odin's punishment, it's both about banishment, but it also transforms her, right? So we were talking about Valkyries as these sort of symbols of transformation. Brunhilde loses her immortal status, consigned to a deep enchanted sleep behind a wall of flames. Now, this deep enchanted sleep, that resonates through fairy tales and Grimm and all that kind of stuff forever, right? Like this is a pretty common motif. Now, here's where her story becomes a little problematic to me as a feminist critic and reader, because it's at this point that her story takes sort of a downward turn, as this punishment basically assures that she becomes the object of a heroic quest of sorts, her rescue entirely dependent on a man. So it kind of goes downhill from there. The hero Sigurd, who we've probably heard of, he's like the most famous of Norse heroes. He moves through this firewall, he reaches her, and in return, she offers him like divine wisdom, some runic knowledge and understanding. But echoing other stories like Jason and Medea, Odysseus and Kirke, our man leaves our now tragic damsel in his heroic wake, and in her rage and confusion, she deceives herself, or is deceived, into burning everything down, as her sense of honor and wounded pride lead to both Sigurd's death and her own suicide upon his funeral pyre. Okay, So that's sort of annoying, patriarchal storytelling-wise, but Brunhild's conflict with Odin embodies the struggle between divine authority and individual conscience. For by defying Odin, she challenges that kind of man-centric order of the cosmos, showcasing a moral worldview that transcends obedience. Her punishment, sleep, fire, mortality, can therefore be seen as a fall, yeah, but also something much deeper, richer, character building. She becomes the kind of human capable of tragic passion and moral depth, which in the Norse sagas, like, they're more stories than they are that kind of moral lesson stuff, right? So her tragedy, Brunhild's tragedy, ultimately highlights that Norse worldview of fatalism and destiny and reveals that even the divine cannot escape the web of fate. So beautifully and wonderfully then, her defiance does not undo destiny, but fulfills it. And there's the story of Brunhilde.
Interesting.
Wow. Yeah,
So,
very.
yeah, she's pretty cool until she's becomes the object, not the subject of her story. Now, how she gets to be marvelized.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to make someone a Valkyrie or name a Valkyrie and turn them into something, she's clearly the one, right?
Yeah.
She has a moral worldview. She is heroic in a sense, right? So I get it.
Yeah, a bunch of the early Marvel stuff is similarly tied. Sigurd's name comes up.
Yep.
Defying Odin comes up. This is all like her early introduction to the comics because first appears in 1966 in a Thor comic, Thor 133. She's like in the B part. This is a book that has like an A and a B, and the A is Behold the Living Planet Ego, right? We get to see Ego, who some folks might remember from Guardians number 2, the movie and that. But there's a B side, which is Tales of Asgard, and she and other Valkyries show up alongside Hela, Marvel Hela sort of thing. Yeah.
That's interesting because they probably didn't interact much in the Norse sagas.
Yeah, in Marvel, Hela is more like she's the goddess of death, or one of the goddesses of death. She's the Norse goddess of death. There's other goddesses of death as well. And like even in the MCU, we see that the Valkyries and Hela fight alongside each other for a while, and there's all this kinds of right. They're tied together since they're choosers of the slain and who goes to Valhalla and that sort of stuff. But
I got you. Sure.
And there's a lot of early history for her, but I found some of the more recent history a little more bananas and fun. And I thought, Daniel's going to tell us about what she really is. So why don't I tell you a little bit of what I thought was kind of the silly bits of Valkyrie in Marvel?
Banana us up.
Okay. So Brunhild's life could fill a season of Asgardian days of our lives. Okay.
Nice.
So first, the Enchantress Amora, who is, her nemesis in the game, traps her in a magic crystal like some divine snow globe, and then she uses her soul like a rental property, loaning out Valkyrie powers to random mortals. Eventually, Brunhild ends up crammed into the body of a mortal named Barbara Norris. Okay. And while poor Barbara gets stuck upstairs in Brunhild's real Asgardian body, so there's like a body swap going on.
Sure.
And then eventually, thanks to Amora's magical amnesia package deal, Brunhild doesn't even notice that she's living in the wrong body until Doctor Strange finally helps her swap back. It's like an interdimensional version of like a Freaky Friday. Okay.
Love it.
Yeah. Now, that's not the only time that Valkyrie Brunhilde swaps bodies. Okay. Yeah. So the universe isn't done playing like Tetris with her soul. Okay. Centuries later, Brunhild meets Annabelle Riggs, who we have as an ally in her pack, a charming archaeologist who catches the feelings for Valkyrie faster than Thor catches lightning. Okay. And during a battle, Brunhild goes like full rage mode. She's actually fighting as part of like this death squad. That's would be really neat as a modular set. It's all these sort of evil Valkyries. Anyways, and during this part, she accidentally kills Annabelle. Oops. Oh. And then she feels so bad that she storms into Valhalla and she demands a refund. And with Clea's help, who is Doctor Strange's apprentice at the time or something like that, Annabelle is resurrected. But there's a twist. Okay, because in season 2 there's always a twist, right?
Sure.
So the two now share one single body timeshare style.
Okay.
All right. So when Brunhild's out swinging a sword, Annabelle has to chill in Valhalla's little pocket dimension, and while Annabelle is out, Brunhild's taking a celestial nap in Valhalla. Okay. It's like the ultimate cosmic odd couple, like half epic warrior godness, half flustered scientist. They're trapped in this really complicated life. Eventually, Valkyrie dies and Annabelle escapes and they're separated, but this Brunhild is currently, I believe, dead in Marvel. So the comics.
Oh, that's a bummer. Because what you were describing with Annabelle, like the sitcom writes itself almost.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And I think Bill was mentioning before, like she'd draw her dragon fang sword and she'd become Valkyrie, and that's when like Annabelle would get shunted off to Valhalla to have to hang out, back and forth kind of thing. So, or at least maybe possibly. So,
I mean, is it a motif? Is it a stereotype? Is it
bad luck?
Is it a trope? like Valkyrie, and then something like She-Ra, like they seem so related, right? And I wonder if that's how you tell like the female hero story. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I was reading the lore and I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
2 times she gets body swapped. So I think that we got to pay attention to that.
Like sort of like an inherent passivity to these characters sometimes that I just.
And there's other individuals that kind of don the moniker, right, of Valkyrie too, I think, over the years. And so I had a question, Daniel, when you're talking Valkyrie earlier. So is this more like a title Valkyrie, or is this more like
that's more of a job title?
Yeah. So is there a lot of them? Is there like millions, or just a few, or what's the significance there? I mean, what is there?
Yeah. There's
I know the song "Ride of the Valkyries," so I wonder how many's in that ride.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's about 13 or 14 of them that are named.
Okay.
Some of them are like children of gods, and goddesses, and sort of they get the job that way. They all have great names too, like Tumult. Like it's in Norwegian, it's the Norwegian word, but like the Quaking One and Victory Rune and Shaker. It's one of my favorites. Is Shaker.
Do they all have a similar look, or do they have a distinct look?
They all kind of have that similar look of like beautiful armored woman astride a flying horse. Like that's part of the job.
Long blonde hair, blue eyes, kind of thing.
Very Norse looking.
Yeah.
So.
They look very Scandinavian.
Yeah.
I know in the comics she's like 6.5 feet tall and almost 500 pounds.
Yeah. They're majestic. They're otherworldly. Like they are supernatural beings.
Okay.
So, they look the part. Like an actual number of Valkyrie in the world, I don't know. There's like,
you say there's like a legion of them.
I would say there's a legion of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever that really means, but I get the picture. There's a whole fighting force of them, right? So
yeah.
All right.
Because they have to like scoop up a whole lot of dead people, because like Viking times made a lot of dead people.
And they have a lot of drinks to serve in Valhalla, you said as well, when they're all
yeah.
They have their day job or their night job.
Plenty to do.
One it is. Yeah, their side hustle.
Yeah. So
it's a job that feeds itself, I guess.
Yeah, there's not ever like a number given. Like there's 2,000 of them or something like. But
I was wondering about
there's
that.
a bunch, and I can think of like 13 of them who are named or so. But yeah, they're cool. They're super cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, super cool. Let's talk about some super cool cards in the game then, shall we? Because that was pretty good lore. Yeah. So we are going to talk about the Valkyrie hero cards, which did come in the Mad Titan Shadows wave, which was wave 4. And the pre-con for Valkyrie came with aggression, and it had player cards in the back of the pack. We didn't get any modulars in the back. Bill, you haven't had a chance to really talk. Why don't you read the alter ego and the hero card for us?
Okay. So Brunhilde, she is an alter ego with a recovery of 4. She's traded Asgardian. She has a setup, which is to set the Death Glow upgrade aside out of play. And she has a text that says, "Not this day," which is an action, detach Death Glow and set it aside out of play. So you attach that upgrade apparently to
something at some point.
An enemy, and that's her ability. She can detach it. She has a hand size of 6 and 12 hit points. When you flip her over to her hero side, she has a thwart of 1, an attack of 2, a defense of 1. She's traded Asgard and Avenger. She has depth perception, which is a hero action. Play the set aside death glow upgrade as if it were in your hand. I am the chooser of the slain, is her text on her card. She has a hand size 5 in her hero form and 12 hit points.
Okay.
Yeah. Daniel, maybe you read us Death Glow, and then we'll talk about our general mechanics on those 3 cards.
Sure.
Yeah.
So Death Glow is a $1 upgrade with a condition trait. You attach it to an enemy. Forced Interrupt. When attached enemy is defeated, set this card aside out of play. If Valkyrie defeated that enemy, ready her.
Okay.
So that is the Death Glow thing. So it bounces in and out of the game, attaching to various bad guys that she hopes to kill.
Right.
Then she can ready back up.
It's always considered in your hand.
When you are a hero.
Yeah. Then you can take the hero action to pay the 1 cost to attach it to an enemy. If you're going to alter ego, you can take the action to detach it, because maybe you put it on something you don't want it on anymore, and it gets set aside. And when it's set aside, you can pay the 1 resource cost to put it out. This is one of the very early upgrades that go on to enemies. Like we had Spider Tracers and then Death Glow, right? And now we have Iceman cards and Bamf cards and Cyclops cards, right? But this was one of the first one where they were trying this mechanic. So it seems neat. So you're going to put it out on something, and when Valkyrie defeats that enemy, she gets the ready. So maybe you can put it on a couple different things. You would hope you'd be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
You would hope that's what will happen.
I mean, it's not part of your hand size necessarily. I mean, it says it's as if it's in your hand, but it's like you have an extra card in your hand that's just always there until you put it on the table. So
yeah, it doesn't take up a slot.
It just doesn't. Yeah.
So the other thing about Death Glow, and it took me a long time of playing Valkyrie to see it or care or think about it, is I always kind of forgot it cost $1 to do it.
Yeah. Me too.
Like Death Glow is great when it just bounces around for free.
Let's talk about it now, because it's the giant flying elephant in the room here, right? Why does it cost $1? Why you aren't getting a ton out of it? It could be a 0 cost card.
Because I think you're right. It's going to lead us, I think, to it's this. The answer to this is, or the question of this is a question about so much of her design.
Yes.
And what makes her a frustrating hero to play, and dramatically underpowered. So your question is a great question. Why shouldn't it be free? Because her stats are low.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So her stats are 2 points lower than what stats should be for like a straight up hero without a trick. Right?
Gotcha.
Deathglow gives her some pluses to things and some readying, but she still needs other parts
to go online.
Right? Yeah. Like there's a whole lot of her kit that has to be kind of set up first. And even then, like she's no monster.
She's no Iron Man, right?
And so if Deathglow were free, now one intriguing thing we should talk about at the end too is like, okay, so say it is free. How much does that help her? Right? Because she's also shackled by the game's worst nemesis pair.
Oh, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
We'll talk about that. So
let's keep in mind the cost of Deathglow, the possibility of should it be free, while we look at the rest of the cards, and when we get to the end, we'll kind of talk about it in the whole package. Then we'll keep that in our brains.
Put it in your pocket, listener.
Yeah. All right, let me read a couple of these cards then. Dragon Fang. So this is one of her 1 cost upgrades. It's an Asgard weapon, restricted. So a reminder, you can only have 2 restricted upgrades out at a time. Valkyrie gets +1 attack, or, in parentheses, +2 attack instead while attacking the enemy with Deathglow attached. Dragon Fang strikes swiftly and deep. You might be wise to surrender. Okay. Then she also has her Spear, which is a 1 cost upgrade. Valkyrie's Spear. Asgard weapon restricted. Valkyrie gets +1 defense, or in parentheses, +2 defense instead while defending against the enemy with Deathglow attached. So there's a couple of her upgrades, right? Okay.
And how they relate to Deathglow.
Right.
And I am annoyed that her spear doesn't have a name like Fang, which is cool.
Yeah, does it have a name in the lore or the comics? They're usually really good with the theme and stuff. So if there was a named spear, I bet you it would be named in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Speary.
Speary. Yes.
Speary.
But in Norwegian. So yeah. Yeah.
They're both restricted too, so you're stuck. If you
those are
get
the two
both of them out, that's the ones you have.
Right. Yeah, you got to go grab a side holster, put your spear and sword in, so that you can carry some other weapon, some other restricted item. But okay, there's a couple other upgrades. There's a couple other upgrades. Whose turn is it? Maybe Bill.
Okay. You'll have to help me out. Flight of the Valkyrie.
It's Valkyrie.
Right? Valkyrie. Thank you. It's a 2-cost upgrade, and there is 2 of these, I believe.
Yep.
And it has a response. After the enemy with Deathglow is defeated, discard Flight of the Valkyrie. Remove 5 threats.
Valkyrie. Wait, it's a lesson for both of us. Valkyrie.
Thank you, fellas. Thank you, fellas, for helping me out there.
Okay.
Remove 5 threat from a scheme. Daniel, read the flavor text on that, if you will.
The Valkyrie carry the spirits of fallen warriors if they be worthy.
All right.
Okay.
I don't like discarding upgrades. I don't know.
Wasn't that why you have 2 of them?
So
I mean, this is 10 threat every time through your deck.
It is interesting. 2 for 5 is pretty good. It does have the limitation that you have to defeat the enemy that has Deathglow attached to it. So it's sort of like you can think of it as like a 2-cost event, but it gets to go on the table, so you get to put it out and just leave it there until the time comes. But you really gotta be.
And it's any scheme. I like it. I think it's
neat.
Okay.
It's neat.
It's neat, and I like the art. Like she defeats something, she calls on her battle sisters, and they fly down and clean up the mess.
Yep, good way to put it.
You have to have some way to remove threat, right?
Yeah,
To balance these guys out.
Yeah, you definitely do.
Yeah, because nothing about her kit bumps up her thwart.
Right.
So
her attack and defense.
The other things about Deathglow and all that. Like, she is a fighter, right? She's a warrior, and
that's that.
And this is really how she thwarts from her kit anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like this is every hero's got their thwart card, their attack card, defense. This is her thwart.
Yeah.
And I think it makes up for like how few she has and few abilities she has to do it. And I think it makes up for with its flexibility and 2 for 5. Isn't that kind of above the curve?
Yeah, the cost is okay, except you also have the cost of having to attack and defeat.
Exactly.
There's
a lot of
but you're doing that.
Yeah. Now, this is also the case where Valkyrie does not have to be the one to defeat the person with Deathglow on it. It just says after the enemy with Deathglow is defeated. So an ally can defeat it, and in multiplayer, somebody else can defeat the character, and you can still get Flight of the Valkyrie.
The only one that she sort of cares about is that if she kills it, she can stand up.
She gets it ready. Yeah.
So,
is this a card that you guys put on the table when you play Valkyrie? Is this one that you put out of your, you got hand size of 5? It's like 3 cards, 2 plus this card to put it out to get 5 threat off the table, but there's strings attached. It goes away. The enemy has to be defeated before this happens. Maybe there's not 5 threat on the table. Maybe taking care of threat some other way. I don't know.
Well, I don't know about that.
It's not one of mine.
In multiplayer, this one probably doesn't come out as much. I'm guessing. Like she's not going to be the multiplayer called on to thwart.
Right. But it's also one of those you can put out there for when you need it, and you can thin your deck down a little bit so you can get at her attack stuff.
Yep.
And we'll see there might be some ways to get it back if you really wanted to once you pitch it. It's not a preparation, so we can't use that new card that lets you put it back into your hand.
Yep. I feel like it should be, but yeah.
Yeah, it has no trades. It's nothing. Days, right? So it's also not a thwart action, so it does bypass control.
Good.
It doesn't get around crisis though, but it does avoid confused. So.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you about another 2-cost upgrade she has.
Okay.
It's her horse, the unique Asgardian creature Aragorn. Now that's a familiar name.
Mm-hmm.
Valkyrie gets +4 hit points and gains the aerial trait when you have Aragorn out. A fearless beast. If by his life or death he can save us, he will.
Oh, if that's not a ripped off quote from Tolkien or at least Peter Jackson, I don't know what is, man.
I love
Yeah.
that they
Okay.
did that.
Aragorn. I got a little more lore here. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Aragorn. Anybody who is a nerd knows who Aragorn / Strider is from Lord of the Rings, right? Viggo Mortensen, if you watch the movies. So Aragorn versus Aragorn. Let's do a battle of the confusing names, okay?
Okay.
So, species. Aragorn. Lord of the Rings version. He is a man, a ranger king, a professional brooder. Now, Aragorn, Valkyrie's winged horse. He's a horse, like an actual horse, which just has wings. You might call him a Pegasus. Maybe not. I don't know if that's a Norse term or not. Weapon of choice, all right? Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, he has his sword that was broken, trademark. And Valkyrie's Aragorn, he fights with his hooves. Occasionally, the sky itself picks you up, drops you from very high heights. Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, his mode of travel, dramatically walking into Mordor.
Mm-hmm.
Or I guess one doesn't simply walk into Mordor. Valkyrie's horse flies majestically over it. No blisters for your mode of travel.
Smart.
Yes.
Simply flies.
Yeah. Yep.
Into it.
Yeah. Okay. Facial hair. Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. Glorious, windswept scruff. Aragorn the horse. None. But that mane. 10/10 Fabio level. Okay.
Or Mike level.
Oh, Mike level. Yeah. Oh, that might be giving Mike too much credit. Okay, the destiny. So Aragorn from Lord of the Rings' destiny is to unite mankind and to rule Gondor and Arnor, the United Kingdoms. Aragorn the horse, his destiny is to carry Brunhild into glorious battle while neighing dramatically.
That's positive.
Yeah. Okay, romantic interests. Aragorn from Lord of the Rings' romantic interest is Arwen, the elf princess with very nice hair. And Aragorn, the horse's romantic interest, it's probably oats. Maybe Pegasus gossip. I don't know. I don't know what horses are romantically interested in.
Maybe Sleipnir.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
Another very famous horse from the mythos.
That was a low key ad there, Daniel.
There you go.
Okay. Catchphrase. Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, he shouts for Frodo a bunch of times in front of the Black Gates. And Valkyrie's Aragorn catchphrase is this, nay, which is very deeply meaningful if you do speak horse. Okay.
Listen to that one at 2 times speed.
Yeah, that'll get you. Tragic backstories, right? Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, he's the long lost king, raised as a ranger, right? That whole thing. The flying horse, Aragorn's tragic backstory, he's probably just tired of people asking if he's the guy from Lord of the Rings. Yeah. And then finally, the likelihood of being in a heavy metal album cover. So Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, he's got a moderate chance of being on a heavy metal cover. But the horse Aragorn, guaranteed, probably twice with lots of lightning. So
indeed.
Yeah. So in short, one Aragorn fights orcs and gives inspiring speeches. The other Aragorn is a flying horse that kicks demons in the face. Both are majestic, and one just poops a little less in the middle of battle. So
I noticed you didn't name which. You just said one of them poops less in battle.
I leave that up to the listeners' imaginations. I mean, if you went up against the Witch King,
I'd poop in battle.
You might poop in battle. Yeah. You never know. Yeah,
So
you
which
look out
one's-
from Helm's Deep at that horde of Uruk-hai, you might poop in battle.
Right. And it might be the last thing I do.
Yeah. It might.
So which one's
very well
better? Which one's better? I mean, if you have
I don't know.
Aragorn, the flying winged horse, we could have ended the story early. He could have just flown into Mordor, dropped the ring into the Mount Doom, and it'd been over
let's not
with.
go there. I mean, it's not a giant eagle. So, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a big horse that
Yeah.
flies fast.
You could have just taken,
So-
Frodo.
I mean, one of the criticisms of the flight into Mordor thing is that the eagles were so big that they attracted attention.
It's true.
Aragorn might not have.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
A stealth flight. We don't know.
We don't know.
That might be.
Anyways, that's our Aragorn lore for folks. So
I mean, I feel like if you're a Valkyrie player, you're a fool not to get this on the tables. It's essentially like Thor's helmet or whatever, Mark V armor or whatever.
And at the time, the aerial trait really meant nothing when she first came out, but now there's lots of stuff.
Now there's lots of support for that. Yeah.
I like
All right, give us another card. Somebody's turn.
Daniel.
Chooser of the Slain is a 0-cost event. A hero action. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for a minion and put it in play. Engage with you and draw 2 cards. Oh, I like that.
Yep.
There are 2 of these.
2 of those. So good. She, like her Asgardian buddy Thor, is a minion hunter. And this plays into that.
Right. 0 cost, guys. Finally.
0.
Yeah.
0 cost card in her kit.
Okay, I almost never use this. I probably should.
You probably should.
I wish it said search the encounter deck and discard pile for a minion, put it into play with you, and attach Deathglow to it. Draw 2 cards. When you may attach Deathglow to it for free, right? Like that'd be even better.
I mean, you get $2, one of which you use to pay for Deathglow.
Okay, so you draw 2 cards, which one replaces Chooser of the Slain, and then the other one pays for Deathglow?
Correct. So you break even by putting
so this card breaks even. I still think it should attach.
But then that minion in front of you with Deathglow attached gives you all the benefits of Deathglow attached.
Which you still have to exhaust to defeat it to ready up.
You womp them, you defeat it, you ready up, you're good.
You haven't done anything. I don't know. I don't feel
you killed a minion and you put it in the discard pile.
But there was no minion out before you started. So I don't know.
Maybe you also build your kit around cards that when you defeat minions.
All right, maybe there's some other
right. These 15 cards don't live in a vacuum, Steve. You put them with other cards.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You are continuing that, speaking around the somewhat difficulty and insanity driving nature of playing her.
Yeah.
It does.
Which is where I often will scream, why don't I just have $1 more?
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
A lot of the time I'm saying that with her.
All right. What else you could be screaming? You could be
screaming. What, Steve?
Have at thee! Which is her 3-cost event, and there's 3 of these in the deck. It's an attack event. Hero action attack deals 7 damage to an enemy. Okay. If an enemy has Deathglow attached, this attack gains overkill. It's not bad. Okay.
Not bad.
Right.
And her and Aragorn have really scared this Hydra goon pretty dramatically in the art.
He's unprepared for this moment.
He is pooping in battle. Yes. So, I gotta say, some of the art on her cards is great, and some of it, I didn't mention Chooser of the Slain, but I have no idea what's happening in that art. There's so much blue. It's
Frost Giants.
I mean, it's a battlefield, right? So that's where they choose the Slain from.
Yeah, I guess.
There's a zillion bodies around.
I just don't see any Valkyries in there choosing the Slain. I just see Frost Giants and some dudes.
Yeah, so it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
This is the what is required before you can be a Chooser of the Slain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, back to Have at thee though. I mean, 3 for 7. That's like a swinging web kick, and then this thing gives you overkill if death glows out. So okay.
Swinging web kick is 8 damage though.
8 damage. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have overkill.
Less. Yeah, that's another string attached though. It has to have death glow attached. So that takes it down a notch, I think.
Yeah. I still think 3 for 7 isn't the worst.
And there's 3 copies, so that's good, right? There's a chance that you'll see at least 1 or 2 of these through your deck pass that
when you need them.
Play, that you'll be able to play that you might be able to afford.
All right, Bill, there's another card.
Shield Maiden. This is a 1-cost event. Very Disney looking animation.
Yeah, the art is a little
there.
disjointed on this one.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a hero interrupt. When the enemy with Deathglow attached attacks, declare Valkyrie the defender without exhausting her. She gets +2 defense for this attack.
It's like an early Bamf, sort of.
Kind
of. She doesn't have to exhaust to defend against a specific character that has her attachment, and she gets a defense boost for it. Costs 1. Yeah.
So
it's not a defense card though, so you can't trigger any of the fun defense cards.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Nope. You
Nope.
can't trigger those.
You can't pay for it with the defense generating card. You can't. What's the one when you play a defense card, you do 1 damage?
Doesn't declaring her the defender make those cards available?
If you defend.
I'm
She
thinking
is
of
defending.
But she has to exhaust in order to be able to defend, and that's what this card's
says
trying to
you
get
declare
around.
the defender without exhausting.
Well,
yeah. This is just when the enemy with Deathglow
with the,
attached attacks. You get to play this.
oh, okay.
So yes,
Gotcha.
you get to do it. You don't have to take a defense action. I'm thinking
Okay.
of cards like Hard to Ignore, or you can't like trigger Flow Like Water, which is what I was thinking of. Like,
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
yeah, and you can't.
But you can still play like after you defend events and stuff, right?
Yeah, sure, because you are now declared as a defender, and you can do
Yeah,
other stuff
okay.
like that. But if
So-
it was a defense action, it would just have more options. So
Well,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's specific when the enemy with Deathglow attached attacks.
Right.
So
Yeah, it doesn't work
that's
at-
when doesn't work after the fact.
Yep.
Okay.
So if you have Deathglow and a little minion that you're like, I don't want to, I've defended against the villain, I can then play this, and she gets to be the defender, and she'll have a 3 defense, maybe a 4 well, if you've put out her spear, she'd have a 5 defense against that, so that's not terrible. It's just a little tricky, and there's 2 of them, so you might see them. I don't know.
but there's more. Visit Valhalla is a 0-cost event. It's an alter ego action. Return a Valkyrie card from your discard pile to your hand. Not shuffle into your discard pile, or your deck, but return it to your hand. As one of the Valkyrie, Valkyrie can open a portal to Valhalla whenever she wishes.
Yeah, alter ego. We've seen something similar with Black Panther, but I guess those just get shuffled in.
Right.
Yeah,
This is why this one's kind of cool. Like, it turns into instant money.
Yeah, you can go get whatever you're looking for. Do you need to have Athi for next turn? Did you have to pitch Aragorn for some reason? As long as you're flipping down into alter ego.
So it costs you 1 to get 1 if
No,
you're
well-
looking for money, right? Because you got to discard the card.
Yeah, it's not really
Get it.
generating any money. It's just helping
Yeah.
you filter.
Yeah. I think
Uh,
it's good to have those. Go find your card that you
Yep.
need. Maybe you discarded something that you wanted earlier.
Okay, here's a character I talked about earlier, Annabelle Riggs, which is a unique ally. I almost said minion. 2 cost, 1 thwart with consequential, 1 attack with consequential, 2 health, and the civilian trait. And in alter ego action, exhaust Annabelle Riggs, search the top 5 cards of your deck for a Valkyrie card and add it to your hand. Shuffle the rest back into your deck. I've got friends on Earth who could use some help. Interesting.
Yet another way for her to get free money. Just saying.
Once Annabelle's out, if you flipped alter ego, she can go fetch a Valkyrie card if it's in the top 5 of your deck and put it in your hand. So
sure.
it's worth taking the risk if you've got her out, I think.
Oh,
So
100%.
Feel bad if it's a whiff, though.
yes.
You know,
If you,
Real bad.
yeah. Now it doesn't damage Annabelle to do it, so you can do it any time you happen to be an alter ego.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
It's notable, and we're going to see it on the next card. A lot of heroes have a support card that triggers an alter ego. Valkyrie's alter ego is an ally, and her support card, which is the next one, is more likely to be triggered when she's a hero. So there's sort of like a flip here, flipped on its head situation. And I'm like the timing of Annabelle Riggs, right? At a point, she swaps bodies with Annabelle Riggs, so this is a weird theme. Maybe the theme is working, because when Annabelle activates, she's Valkyrie, she's Brunhild, there's some interesting piece there.
It works for me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It's okay. It's all right. All right, one more card. Let's get through the kit.
All right. This is Valhalla. It's a 2-cost support. Asgard location. Response after Valkyrie attacks and defeats the enemy that has Deathglow attached. Exhaust Valhalla. Draw 1 card and heal 1 damage from Valkyrie. All right.
This is a fun card.
This feels like one you're going to put out.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah, you need this one. This one gets discarded. You go find it with your
With your other cards. Yeah.
with Visit Valhalla.
Yeah, this. Okay, there's no straight up resource generator in this deck, which is a common complaint, I think, because you do have to pay for Deathglow all the time. So like Valhalla is your resource generator, but you have to actually kill something that has Deathglow attached, and you get to draw a card and heal damage, which is nice. You're getting 2 for 1. And you're gonna probably, you could do it in Alter Ego somehow. So maybe.
So
Not
she
really.
has some built-in card draw, which fundamentally isn't different from paying $2 to put down your thing that you tap over and over to generate a whatever for a whatever, right? Like,
right, an extra card in your hand.
Does it
compared
just feel
to
different because you're drawing the card that you?
It feels different because you are not just tapping Valhalla. You are have to defeat an enemy in order to generate the resource, but maybe you need the resource to generate to defeat the enemy. Like, it's a reward. Valhalla is just a reward for doing something, but you have to be able to do the something first. And a lot of times the resource generator or the free card draw from something else doesn't have that do what you need to do first piece.
I guess.
Yeah.
But a card is just $1, right? So
yeah, it's possibly 2 if it's a energy, a strength, a genius, something like that. So
most all of the cards in this hero kit are leaning heavily onto this death glow.
Yep.
I mean, that's the whole shtick. You want to try to get this death glow out. So is that the trouble? Is that the part that people just you think?
I think it comes down to there's a couple issues I think that people have. I think one is the cost of stuff and having to pay for Deathglow. Right. Maybe not having good targets for Deathglow when you need it. I guess maybe that's it right there. Those sorts of things.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I played it solo with her, and I put Deathglow on the villain a lot.
Did you?
Yeah, and then
the bounce aroundness is not as important as like once you got your Dragon Fang and your spear out, like
right.
You're sort of constantly buffed against that.
Yeah, so if you attach it to the villain, you're never gonna. Valhalla will trigger once a game, right? So because you only defeat level 1, in a standard game,
and you can always pull it off the villain in Alter Ego.
In Alter Ego, yeah, and I think that's important to note that flipping is good. You get the extra hand size. She has a couple cards that trigger an Alter Ego, right? Visit Valhalla, Annabelle Riggs. Here's what it is. Yeah, is her resource generation a little low? Sure. Does Deathglow maybe not always work exactly when you need it the way you want it to be because whatever? Sure. Her real problem is her Nemesis set, right? Yeah, like the Nemesis is so powerful. Enchantress is so good, just totally locks her down.
It nerfs her completely.
That is the problem. Like, that's her biggest issue. Because I think without Enchantress, who says like, oh, you can never attack, and you have a 5-threat scheme out, and you only have a 1 threat, a 1 scheme or whatever it is, like, sorry, and you only have a 1 thwart, like it. Oh, and your thwart card requires you to defeat something, but you can't defeat anything because you can't attack, so you can't remove threat. Like, it just locks down, right? Locks her down. Even her obligation, Trouble in Otherworld, she cannot attack the enemy with Deathglow attached. That's her whole shtick. So now you can't do it, which is, a nice obligation. It's good that it's doing it. You got to flip the Alter Ego, spend some resources to get rid of it. So like her encounter cards are really powerful against her. Yeah. So Daniel, how old is she? She's not a teenager, right?
Yeah, no, she's definitely not a teenager.
Okay. All right.
So she's beyond age.
They got that part right then.
So they got that part right. There's been no hero in this game that I have more tried to get to work than her, right? Yeah. Like, I've tried 1,000 solo decks, and like, I don't like playing solo, but I'll try her just to see. I played her in that one multiplayer game with you two, and like, she did nothing. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember if even Enchantress came out. I don't think so. There's something about her that is just doesn't work.
Disconnected somewhere. Yeah, there's something.
There's somewhere, like, somehow the wires aren't all linked together, and I don't know what it is, because like, I look at her kit, reading these cards out today, like, it's why I'm so excited by her character and her cards, because they seem like they're tightly thematically linked. They sound cool. They seem like they would work really well.
Yep.
And then you're always missing $1 or $2. You're always like, you could do a thing a turn. Her stats, her innate stats are too low.
It's kind of the same feeling that I have with Hulk. It's like you can do one thing on a turn, and then you watch everybody else play. So, like Hulk, you get one item done, you get one event off, you get one thing done, and then you sit there and you watch all your friends build your boards and do a bunch of events and draw extra cards and do all these other fun things, and that's
You're like, I'm trying to defeat a minion.
yeah. I'm like
just
trying to stick my death glow on somebody, and it's locked up, and
Well,
now I'm
maybe
stunned, and
maybe we're just missing the right kind of build for her. And maybe, Steve, when you mentioned that, aerial is now a trait that matters, there could be something out there that changes her a little bit. There are basic aspect cards that deal with resource generation, like maybe focusing on those, become a justice player with her. Maybe just there's got to be a pocket universe where Brunhilde works. And I've been searching. I've been doing
I want her to be badass like the lore, right?
Yes.
Yeah. My one idea, like my custom generating brain or my creative brain is like, how do we fix her? Right? There's tons of this. How do we fix her kind of thing? And it's the cost of death glow. Now, is 0, we discussed this earlier, is that too cheap? And maybe it is, but maybe the first time you attach death glow to an enemy, it costs 1 resource, and then it doesn't cost you anything after that for the rest of the turn, right? So like you got to get death glow out there once, and then it doesn't cost anything. Like something along those lines. I don't know. I really like playing it at 0. I feel like it's a little more enjoyable.
I just wish, Steve,
but that's like breaking the rules, and I don't want to break the rules.
Yeah. I just wish there was someone like really smart in the community who knows a lot of things, could just suddenly appear and give us an answer.
Yeah, maybe one of the minions.
Yeah. Here, I summon Scott the Lexicon. Scott, how do we fix Valkyrie?
So in order to fix Valkyrie, we just need to give her a support or an upgrade like friction resistance that readies whenever she defeats. And it can only be used to reduce the cost of the death glow. So you exhaust it and play death glow for free, and that gives her a way to get it out there. But you can only do it once per turn, unless you manage to defeat a minion, and then you can put it back out for free. Or maybe it doesn't ready and it just does it once per turn, and it's a sunk cost that she can then use for the rest of the game. And I think that personally would make her
I like it
so much
Steve,
more fun to play.
How did you get Scott here? Where did he come from?
He rode in on Aragorn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dark
just in time to talk about our decks.
A wizard is never late, my friends. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Yeah, we talked about rangers more than wizards tonight. So
it's true, we did.
Yeah. Well, shall we look at some decks, guys? Because maybe one of these deck ideas we have will make her fun to play.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I can guarantee mine won't.
Oh, let's do that one first then.
Get that one out of the way.
So back in the day, and again, I need to come back with an aerial deck. I'm intrigued by that. But back in the day, I made a protection deck, and the thing about it was, I don't really know what you do for her other than some kind of generic things. Other than I played into the get some minions. So come get me, bub, seemed appropriate to her.
Okay.
Right? Healing her up, giving her tough. Same with bait and switch. As I use bait and switch because like we said, she doesn't thwart.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's one way to make that happen. Anticipated attack. So getting player side schemes in the victory display to give her more tough. First hit.
With the toughs and stuff, she doesn't have to exhaust to defend, which means she's ready to attack. So that she can which
then death glows. Yeah. First hit, like things like that. Never back down. I thought was good because she is defending a lot. Like when I played with her in solo, I would have death glow on the villain more often than not because there's just fewer minions. So that worked. And what doesn't kill me, like the all-purpose readying event. But other than that, like it wasn't really there. I just put an armored vest on her and gave her the night nurse and said, do it. And now I would add Clea based from your lore.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, like, it's just, like I said, her kit's interesting and kind of cool. There's not a ton you do with her. I gave her, the Bifrost. And if I built it again, I would throw in some of those basic upgrades that generate resources.
Okay. Yep.
So
I built a protection deck too, and used some of that idea there, Daniel. But when I kind of look at the hero, I'm looking at what can she bring to the table. She's got low thwart, low defense, 2 attack, and so but she's got 12 hit points, and so there's got to be a way to kind of translate hit points into some kind of an economy and protection. And so the way that I do that is with the taunt card. So the villain attacks you, other characters cannot attack against this, defend against this attack, draw 3 cards. So it's a way to get some extra card economy with her. Also, symbiote suit gets you an extra card in your hand. I know, Steve, you don't particularly like that card necessarily, symbiote suit, but when you put that out, you got an extra, you bump up all your stats, you get an extra card draw, you get a lot of extra health that you can use as economy. You can also use endurance along with Aragorn to really bump her up in the 20s, almost 30 health. Other ways that you can help your economy is by since you're spending money on a symbiote suit, you probably are going to put Power in All of Us in your deck to get that out. So what are some other things that you can help pay for? Avengers Mansion, Helicarrier, Nick Fury, Ironheart, all the cards that draw you extra cards when you play them. So you're starting to build your hand up. And then what are you going to do with all this economy? Well, now we're going to do the Powerful Punch, which is a defense event, attack and defense event. So you deal 4 damage to the enemy with that. Whenever they attack you, you're going to defend. You're going to respond with a counter punch because you've bumped up your stats. And then come get me, Bub. Okay. Come get me, Bub, to go find those, because that's what you want. You want those minions out on the table to put this death glow on that you can defeat. And so you have several different options of defending and attacking with all of that. So
I like that, Bill, because it also plays into defeating the enemy with death glow during the villain phase is satisfying.
Yeah.
And I thought about putting cards in that benefit from that as well, but I just didn't see it happening very often. But maybe it would. But I played a couple times. Played against Claw with the alien
Badoon.
The Badoon. Yeah. So played against. So you almost got to kind of build the villain to go up against the hero, which is kind of the hard part, right? You got to have plenty of targets for Valkyrie. So like we played a couple weeks ago where we only had like 2 minions in the deck, right? And you guys, Steve and Daniel, both came with decks to slaughter minions, and we only had 2 that we were fighting over, and they go to the victory display. So you got to really be careful who you're playing against, right?
Yeah.
So, but that's my idea for the deck, protection-wise.
Love it.
Try to take advantage of that health.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think Change of Fortune and Under Control are also good ones with the new mechanic where defeating the minions in the encounter phase. Since Shield Maiden lets her defend at a +2, and if you're defending against a minion with a death glow, your defense is going to be 3 plus another 2 from Shield Maiden. You don't even have to exhaust, so you could have defended for somebody else. You can then use Shield Maiden or use your defense against the minion. You take no damage, and a card like Under Control, right, can wipe out that minion, and then you ready back up again. You can trigger your stuff and sort of like play the death glow on your turn and during the villain's turn. So like kind of pairing in maybe some of the stuff that you were talking about. You can use your Come Get Me Bubs. You can use stuff like practice defense, right? So you can flip down and then flip back up during when the villain activates to tank that hit. So I think there's some flexibility there now that there didn't used to be for Valkyrie. And since Shield Maiden got errataed to be a defense event.
Oh, it did?
Jocasta. Yes, it did.
Okay.
So
we were talking
Jocasta
about that.
Jocasta can now grab your Shield Maiden card and hold that for you if you want as well. And it is considered the defense event.
So all the things I said about Shield Maiden should be a defense event earlier in the show. You can ignore that, folks, because it is now.
Totally true.
Yes,
Yay!
You were absolutely correct. It should have been, and designers recognize that.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Okay.
That's God's house rule. It is actually
errata. Okay.
It is an actual.
We should look up errata before we talk about stuff, I guess. That seems like a lot of work.
Rules.
Okay, so I made I made a no, I didn't make a justice deck, but I brought a justice deck. I tried putting together, like a Valkyrie aggression deck and its, attack events and things like that, but I wasn't feeling it. So I went out and I tried to find a justice one. So this one's on Marvel CDB called Shadow Infiltration by J. Walton77, published 4 months ago. And he says, I'm just going to read a tiny piece of his write-up, okay? He says, What's the worst thing about Valkyrie? Her threat removal? You might be tempted to say it's her economy, or perhaps the defense package. While all of those are valid guesses, everyone who's played Valkyrie knows that the worst thing about Valkyrie is her nemesis set. So, yes. Okay, so that's... so we're trying to avoid the nemesis set here using some justice cards. And there's similar decks to this for, like, Phoenix, right? Trying to avoid Shadow of the Past and things like that. But so this deck, while it does a little bit of the deck manipulation, it really kind of gives you more threat removal. And the threat removal that it's focusing on using is Infiltration, which is a new card that only costs you 1. You choose a number from 1 to 5. You can discard that many cards from the encounter deck and remove a threat from a scheme for each card discarded this way. And you will put 1 minion that you discarded this way out in play, engage with you. So if you're looking for a minion, there you go, right? But you can pull 5 threat off. And the reason you want to pull 5 threat off is her nemesis side scheme is just terrible. And you got to clear that up as quick as you can. But it also wants you to get specialized training player side scheme. And this works better in solo than multiplayer. Like in multiplayer, you're going to need other people's help to clear that threat because that side scheme has 5 threat on it. But when you clear it, you go get one of those upgrades. And they're like, you get +1 to a stat. And when you use that stat, draw a card. So if you get the attack one for her and you specialize in the attack stat because she's going to be attacking, and you get out her weapon and you attack the person that has Deathglow attached, you're now attacking for a base attack of 5. And you didn't have to play the symbiote suit like Bill did. Come on. And you draw a card when you defeat that minion. And if you have Valhalla out, you're drawing 2 cards now. So you can start to build the economy. It also has, Hell Carrier and Quinn Carrier in it because you need to have cards to generate more resources, which is pretty good. Some clear the areas, but also upside the head. So after you make a basic attack and damage an enemy, you can confuse that enemy. All right. So then it allows you to flip down, change where your Deathglow might be attached, get that extra card in your hand, heal up if you have to. I found that works pretty good. And then for like allies, you've got Blindfold in there that lets you look at the top 5 cards in the encounter deck and just get rid of one. So you can pull out Shadow of the Past, or if you're playing standard 3, you can get rid of the 2. There's those 2 bad ones that just really accelerate the tokens that you're getting. It's got Grant Ward. He's super cheap, which is what she wants. Ironheart, card draw, another person. Manifold. So you can, when you play Manifold, you can go get a side scheme. So you can go get specialized training if you need it, or build support as well, because build support will let you bring out your more expensive support cards. And then Wiccan's in here as well, because after he throws, you can discard top card in the encounter deck. So maybe you've looked at the deck with Blindfold and you can use Wiccan, you can clear a card, you can get rid of something like that. So it's worked pretty good. Skilled Investigator, Under Surveillance, a couple cards like that. And then on top of that, and maybe you guys have it in yours, Godlike Stamina, that's 0 cost. If you're Asgard traded, you can play it, heals 2 damage, and you can get rid of status cards from your identity, because if she gets stunned, that can really hinder her, right? Or if she gets confused. In this deck, that's not great because you're trying to do some thwarting. So I found it to be a lot of fun. I enjoyed it.
Did it work, Steve?
It did work. I took down the new Black Widow with it on standard 1.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was like, it took a minute to get it going, but I did exactly what it was supposed to do, right? I fetched that specialized training. I put out my upgrades, and I was punching for 5 and drawing 2 cards. And when I found it didn't work is because I went and put Deathglow on the villain. And while that gives me the extra attack boost and defense boost, I was mostly just sucking damage up. Like, I have 12 health. I put out Aragorn. Now I have 16 health, right? And endurance might be a good add to this, just to give yourself a little bit more. So she wasn't exhausting during the villain phase. And I found, well, okay, I need to flip down because I got to move Deathglow. I shouldn't have put Deathglow on the villain because I want to be defeating minions to drawing more cards to getting at my have at these to do 7 damage to the villain with events and stuff like that. So yeah, it was pretty good. So Jay Walton 77, kudos to you. Great job. Yeah. It was actually an enjoyable play of Valkyrie for me.
Cool.
So
yeah, I like it. No face the past. You didn't decide to do that.
No, so I have seen people suggest that card.
No, I don't think so.
And it's like the idea for Face the Past would be to get out Enchantress without the side scheme. So you can play Face the Past, she comes out, you get the seduction attached to you, right? Is that what it is? And then you could immediately go flip and clear it because that's what you're planning to do, right? Because the side scheme says, if you can't remember from when we talked about Enchantress Nemesis a long time ago, the side scheme says players cannot discard attachments that are attached to friendly characters. So, and that has that's 2 with a hinder 1. So that comes out, and you've got seduced on you. You got to get rid of the side scheme before you can get rid of seduce, so you can just not do anything for a while. So maybe face the pet. I don't know.
Okay, I got you. So you're kind of neutering it because you can't get it later, right? Because the cards are already circulating around in your.
Yeah, at least right? I don't know. I mean, that's the idea that I've heard people say. I don't know if it's useful or not. So
okay, interesting.
Yeah, well, but there's one more. Scott, you brought a deck, right?
Yes, I did.
Why don't you tell us about it?
Well, first of all, I really like the one you shared and brought. I love that idea. The one I brought is one that I put together. I call it Valkyrie's Avengeance. So it's a Valkyrie Avengers based deck, which I think was one of the more productive ways to play her when she first came out, given that she has the Avengers trait. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of Avengers traits we can kind of play into with Avengers Tower. Cards like Stinger and Blade, these sort of cheap allies you can put out. They can do work for you. They can help thwart if you need them to. And then you can use them for things like Earth's Mightiest Heroes and Strength in Numbers to help kind of build your economy or ready your hero when you need it. But we also have other cards now, right? We have things like Noble Sacrifice, and we have cards like I Got This, or You Got This, right? Where you can sacrifice an ally, add them to your attack, and ready. Valkyrie, I think she likes justice and she likes aggression and even protection because she gets those bonuses to her attack and defense and justice, or thwart, I mean, and that those let you really use the ready she gets off her Deathglow. But in leadership, she doesn't have that. Right. So we need a little something to help boost her stats when she needs a little extra thwart or when she needs some extra attack to finish off a minion. So You Got This can kind of bring you over the edge and say, hey, well, I've got 3 attack right now against this minion. I need that extra 2. And you still get to trigger Deathglow because you're the one making the attack. And then you get another ready. Right. So you've got these options to kind of stack in and make sure that you're not exhausted. I also ran Godlike Stamina, much like the deck that you shared, Steve, because it gets you rid of those status cards when you really need to. She does not like being stunned, and she does not like being confused.
Yeah.
So I've got those in there. And then some of the big allies like Captain America, Captain Marvel, and Squared Off, which is another one of the newer cards that we got from the Magneto kit that lets us go get a minion and then discount the next, and then play a ally from our hand, discounting its cost by 3.
All right, good. So I was going to say, how do you play a 6-cost Captain America?
Yep.
But I guess
exactly.
you play him after you put some Avengers out and you square off.
That's the thing. So like if you have Stinger out and Blade out and maybe like Hawkeye, which you kind of want to have out for all these minions you're bringing into play, right? Hawkeye is an amazing ally for Valkyrie. If you got the 3 of them out and Valkyrie in play, then Captain America only costs 2 because your hero's an Avenger and you've got 3 other Avengers on the board. So Captain America is actually usually one of your cheaper allies. Some of the more expensive ones are going to be like Black Panther. Maybe I think I don't remember if I put Falcon in the deck or not. I think he was at what iteration. You've got Captain Marvel in there. She's expensive. And even discounting like a 2-cost ally still feels good, like getting Kalu out or being able to play White Tiger, right, for free, basically, because you're still playing her from your hand. She's not put into play, right? So you can trigger those when you play from your hand effects. So that squared off as a great card. I only put 2 in because I think sometimes the minion fetching is too much for Valkyrie. Sometimes we get too many minions, and really Valkyrie, she can only trigger Valhalla once a turn.
Yep.
So ideally you're killing 1 minion and then hitting the villain, right? Or you're killing a minion and then recovering, or killing a minion and then thwarting, or something like that. So kind of having that in there where I really only want to get about 1 minion a turn, which means I don't need a ton more minion getters. I've got those 2 choosers of the slains and then the 2 squared off to go get those cards. I've got some beefy allies, and then I have some cards that kind of help me draw cards, that help me ready when I need to ready, and some cards that make use of my allies when I'm ready to get rid of them and get something else. And then to really help make this work, we got Avengers Tower, so we've got that extra Avengers slot. And I have 2 copies of Honorary Avenger, because you want to play with Annabelle Riggs, but she's not an Avenger, right? So you need to be able to make sure you throw Honorary Avenger on Annabelle Riggs, and then you can use her with Strength in Numbers and Earth's Mighty Heroes as sort of an engine for your main hero, so that she's not like wasted when you're in hero form, because like nobody really wants to use her to just thwart or attack. And so you can use her and like Blade or Stinger as sort of engines with some of these other cards. And then whenever you flip down, she'll be there to help go grab you your hero, your identity specific cards. And there's a few other things in there. Queen Carrier, because you want some resource generation. Like I mentioned, the godlike staminas are in there. And a couple of those other events and things. So I really enjoyed playing it. I played it against Loki. It worked great. I played him on Expert and had a blast. Not the old Loki, the new Loki. So not the Gauntlet Loki.
The
easier Loki.
Mischief. Okay.
Yes, the God of Mischief. I played it for that. So that was it was a lot of fun. I had a blast with the deck. It's fun getting all those Avengers out. I felt very much like the Secret Avengers. I was trying to kind of put allies in there, but sadly, some of them I wanted to put Beast in because he's one of the Secret Avengers with Valkyrie. But he's not an Avenger, so I couldn't make it work. So there were some pieces in there that were hard to thematically. I wanted more of a thematic deck, and I couldn't quite make it all happen. But I got some of the allies in there that I wanted.
I think you hit a good.
So that's the deck.
You got a good thematic note too with her, like Chooser of the Slain, where you've put in Noble Sacrifice, and you got this, where you kill off your allies to send them to Valhalla.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Love it.
Yeah. 50 cards. He maxed out, right? It's a big deck.
Yeah, he's got.
Yeah,
I mean, he has 10 allies.
It's a Daniel approved 50 card deck.
That's right.
50 card deck. Yeah. All right, well, guys, those are some good ideas, some good decks. How about our last thoughts on Valkyrie? Is she a character that our villains should be afraid of often? You know, we've talked about a few of these guys, and we're like, yeah, villains definitely need to be petrified of this character, right? What do you think, Daniel? You were laughing.
Well, I like that you said often. No, you and Scott brought decks that I think are interesting, competitive, show off that she is not like for a long time I really have thought like there's just nothing you can do.
You just
right?
wrote her
and
off, right? You just like
kind of. I've just sort of I've tried. Like I said, there's no one I've tried harder to make work. I'm not obviously the greatest deck builder with the best sense of all the cards and things like that. And so I assumed better deck builders could figure out a way to make her function and not just be like, you know, when I played with you and Bill, like my job was just actually generating more encounter cards a turn. That was it. I didn't feel like I was contributing meaningfully. But these last two decks that y'all shared and Bill, yours too, like you can, like, she's not just a layabout. You can do stuff with her. She's going to be good. I think the new card pool is going to help her a lot.
Yeah, I think you have to go back to her and give her a try. She's never going to be top tier. She's never going to make all the villains quake. But she can be enjoyable if you know, like you said, better deck builders like Jay Walton 77. Thank you for that. I do just want her to be better because she's so cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what, I give Daniel crap sometimes for playing Valkyrie, but really I'm just kidding around. I appreciate the fact that, because I like to champion the lesser played cards in the game. That's why I play a lot of precon decks, because it spreads it around. I get to see more in my investment, more of the cards, and I don't like just automatically bashing something just because it's more difficult than the other things. Like, I'll play Hulk, I'll play Valkyrie, because I like to challenge myself, and I typically play standard. So most of the heroes you can typically do pretty well in standard. There's going to be some that are just a little bit more of a challenge, or you may be a little bit more shoehorned into a type of build in order to make them really work. So I'm the guy that loves seeing lots of variety, lots of ideas. Some people, I mean, if we look at like how she's ranked, there was some time ago where community members were ranking all the heroes, and she typically came up way at the bottom of the list.
Yep.
But there are also those who absolutely love Valkyrie and love playing with her, and have found ways that they really enjoy her. Hey, they're going to show up to game night, and they're guaranteed not to match somebody else at the table, right? Because
thank you.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So I applaud people who try to kind of think outside the normal shell of things and try to make things work. So there's definitely a place for her.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bill, something you just said really resonates with me when you're like, there's not like a standard build for her. Like, her weakness might actually be her creative strength, right? Like, you can do all sorts of different types of builds with her as you try to get her like notched up a little bit in power. Like, it's cool that there's not like, oh, you just play aggression decks with her. That's all you can do with her. No, there's a lot of flexibility in her inherent weaknesses that open up the build for all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, because there's the occasional hero. It's like you have to play Drax Protection, and that's that. Or there's, maybe that's not 100% true, but there are definitely some that's like, this is the build. Just play this one, and it works, and it's fun, and whatever. But yeah.
Right. And, usually when the nemesis shows up, it doesn't necessarily feel like a nemesis, right? We kind of all pile on that nemesis and get it off the table. When her nemesis shows up, everybody groans. Like, all right, do we scoop, or what do we do now?
Yeah.
Because our player is going to be neutralized for about 2 or 3 rounds. Do we want to keep going, or what?
Yeah, in multiplayer, at least other players can help you remove the side scheme that is preventing you from removing the attachment, which is preventing you from attacking, which is preventing you from being Valkyrie, right? So, like, you gotta really count on the other guys at the table to clear that side scheme for you, so you can get on with your life.
Yeah, I'd be like, I promise to beat up the next 3 minions if someone else can deal with this.
Yeah.
Please, somebody give her powerful enchantments. Yeah. Because I got to flip to alter ego, and I got to spend some resources, which I don't have. Yeah.
And that's super thematic because of the story that you told earlier, Steve, and the way that it actually happened in the comic books. She was out of commission for some time because of Enchantress, and lots of things happened in the meantime while she was gone. So it's fun. It's fun. You gotta admit.
Yeah. Scott, do you have any final thoughts on Valkyrie? I know you bounced in here towards the end for us.
I think she gets a bad rap. I think people judge her a little bit too much based on where she struggles in solo, right? Like you guys were saying, in multiplayer, you have other people to help out with the weak points, and she can really shine when there's a lot of minions on the board. She hits for a lot. You put her in aggression, and she's swinging for 4, 5, 6 damage, maybe with the new card with Tigra. Right, per swing, you give her a hand cannon, it's even more, and she's hitting with overkill. Like, there's some really fun, just explosive things you can do with her, and her dynamic, I think, is actually really fun. I don't think the villain is going to be terrified when you bring Valkyrie, unless it's a villain that wants to put a lot of minions on the board. And then they're probably, Valkyrie can easily deal with a whole villain's turn worth of minions on a single turn. When you're hitting that, it's amazing, right? Like you're single-handedly taking care of the villain's turn every round. If that's most of the cards that are coming out. If most of the cards coming down are side schemes, you're sitting on your thumbs. Like there's not a lot to do as Valkyrie. So, I think she's a very matchup dependent hero. She's a very like different player counts. You really have to build into her weaknesses sometimes. Personally, I enjoy that. I enjoy that in a game. Granted, I might play standard more with Valkyrie than I play in export, right? Because I still want to have fun, and I know that there are going to be some weak points, and I may not be able to overcome them very easily. Or maybe I just lose a lot, and I've done that too. I notoriously played Valkyrie against Magneto in the Solo Champions League. It was incredibly difficult. It was on expert, and it's punishing.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the villains winning, once in a while.
Give it
So
I managed to win all 3 games I had to play in that league with Valkyrie against Magneto. I played in leadership. It was not a deck that's super different from the one that I brought. It had a lot of leadership, Avenger allies and stuff like that. And she was able to get the work done, right? You have all those M-type Sentinels that she was able to hit on and get those extra stat boosts off of. So it's absolutely doable. You can absolutely do it. Flight of the Valkyrie is very good at removing threat. So she's got some cool tools in there. There's some cool cards in her kit. People just got to give her a chance, right? And if she's not your cup of tea, that's okay. Like, I don't think people should feel bad for being like, you know what? She's not my cup of tea. Totally cool. I enjoyed her. If you haven't played her and you get a chance to, I encourage you to give her a try. Don't let the haters turn you away, but at the same time, don't feel bad if you agree with them. That's my 2 cents on Valkyrie.
Nice.
All right. Well, we've been talking way, way too long about a hero.
Right?
Holy cow.
You'll have to release this one at ×2 speed, Steve.
Yes, definitely.
Maybe I won't sound so drunk.
Yeah. So, do you have Valkyrie anecdotes you want to share? Tell us about your Valkyrie decks, gameplays, good or bad. Anything dramatic. We want to hear about them. You can email us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. We are Critical Encounters on Facebook, and you can find our YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Vardane, Big Fun Loaf, Board Game Lawyer, and Lexicon. If you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, tell your enemies. Valkyrie, take us out.
Your time has come. Die with honor.
And it didn't feel like 2 hours to me. Like at one point, like 45 minutes, I'm like, we just start. So, yeah. It's more the time to like that when we're playing Valkyrie, right? Right, yeah. Even after 2 hours, I still can't pronounce Flight of the Valkyrie. Valkyrie. Oh my goodness.
It's just Valkyrie or.
Valkyrie. I mean, you can write this stuff, but you can't say it, right? I mean, I can't. You guys can.